Okay, so we're here in Simon Yud, Maimer Yud. Tarkum Shoyishonim, Chayin of them is Derech Hazal Kedoshim. The Vayad Vayim Nistorim Betzurim Shal Mikvah. They explain hidden things in revealed ways. In other words, they use Mishalim from that which is real, or not real, revealed, sorry. V'yichuruim Anu Dover Zeb Sefer Yosh Rabbeinu Tam, which I've never learned. I think I learned actually inside many years ago. I don't remember. They wanted all the spiritual things, matters, to make by a person, make them something which a person could grasp with his senses. Like the material matters which are sensed by a person. I think through his senses to call the person's avoidance to reach this level. That Amunah should be something which he can sense with his senses. There's one of my Rosh Yeshiva once said that when he was in the Panovich, Mashgiach, there was a Chatzkel Levenstein, who was the Talmud of Yerucham. He used to take stenders and line them up in two rows, and walk between them, and said in order to enact Kriyas Yamsuf. So that's taking something and making it tangible, right? You're taking an abstract concept, making it tangible, so your senses can grasp this concept. So you have to analyze this madrega very difficult. Person that require great intellectual accomplishments, in order to reach it. But it has become clear from all our previous essays, God is one, his name is one. So there's no difference in quality between Teva and Lamal Min Teva. Shechina is down here just like it's on high. That's we have when we say Malokal Earth Kivodo. Entire earth is full of coverage. We feel Shechina says Barachim Mamash Boretz. It's literally in the ground, not on earth. Lord, Iko Shechina Tachtonim, my son. Shechina is in Batachtonim. Obviously, on high, you don't have to have Shechina. Shechina is the divine presence in places where it's not usually manifest. So all the levels, the loftiest levels, to the end of the ultimate levels one can reach, they're already extant in nature. Nature's permeated. Is full across its entire span, emuna, with belief. And this is embedded in the teva, and given to a person that does such a matter. Person can sense it, and give it substance with the senses. Person's not missing anything more than passing over the pen. In other words, a flourish of the pen. In order that all munah should become by him tangible. A person analyzes this well. But when he passes the first flourish of ink, which means the first level of tangibility, that makes him a very slight line. Initially, it's just a mark. The avoda is to add pen stroke to pen stroke. Like it says, "Berov Sarah Pai Bikirbi." I'm not sure Sarah Pai fits into this. Sarah Pai are ideas. Anyway, let's see. With more thought, these bonus and analysis. Sirtut zemis ave etzlo yoser v'yoser. This mark becomes more and more thick. To the point that he sees, well, he senses, with his senses, the God of heavens and earth. So what he's saying is that a person has the capacity to embed higher things within himself, and it's more a question of working over and over again. So a person absorbs this idea, it's clear that it's required to have all of heaven without limitation, even through on account of nature. Absolutely, even though he hasn't merited Torah. Since primary Shekhinah is down here below, the love of Hashem is full down here below, just like it is on high. Zeu inyan echad. Okay, so the chiddush, obviously, which you saw previously, is that emunah doesn't require Torah. Right? Emunah requires simply zbainus in the bria. The token varvu says, "When a person understands, analyzes that Hashem holds the entire all the nefashos in, so to speak, his hand. He can put somebody to death and bring somebody to life. When a person analyzes how his life and his death clean, but it's off do with the Ratzon Hashem. As I must see, Yiras Hashem, then he'll get Yiras Hashem because he understands everything is in the hands of Hashem. Ramban doesn't require great intellectual attainments. They don't seek a year in order to attain a year. So the person has true emunah. As I yira milsa zutrasahi. In other words, a person really believed. Mira would be a simple thing, because once you believe in God's permeating, the holiness of God, the Shekhinah permeating everything, of course you're going to be afraid of crossing the Shekhinah. We're doing something kabiyachol to make the Shekhinah upset. And it's embedded in every creature when he's created. Since we get Yira by being analyzing that issue, as not something which a person gets from outside of himself. Gets it from within himself. So all these things, the loftiest levels, they are embedded in a person's nature. And you can attain this with your own senses.
So that's a big idea, that it's internal to the person rather than something that he acquires from external sources.
Right. There's a quote I remember, not from a Jewish source. I'm not even sure the source is, but education is a bringing out, not a putting in.
I see.
So this idea, everything is in Teva. It's already there because all of Teva is already placed within a person. How he functions in Teva, and therefore how the Teva interacts with him. And the truth is that, making it somewhat more tangible, one could come to Emunah and Machukah Emunah just by analyzing the complex systems within a human being. Right? You should be able to come to Emunah by examining the circulatory system, by examining the digestive system, by looking at the kidneys. So there is this idea that Teva enhances Emunah. And Teva means the natural course of affairs of everything. It's not should be to Emunah. As Rabbi Yerucham say, you don't need to have a Loma Soyan to have Emunah. Shechina B'Tachtonim, you can find it here. Midivri Ramban Eltzuklis Bonesh. Redimanu Tamid. V'chem vor be'emes chovos avav v'sharbos elkim. Sheschar mosh masig adam rakei dehara toris. That the concept of schar v'onesh only comes to a person by the Torah's notifying us of it. According to him, you can attain schar bonus by your mind alone. And that if your emunah is clear and alive, so yira comes automatically. So it doesn't require some sort of it doesn't require the Torah. We find many times. Because it's before Matan Torah. Not only is the nascent Jewish nation required to have Yira, but Amalek, the Lei Elokim, they're punished for not being Elokim. They don't have the Torah. So why are they punished by being not Elokim? So it's clear that not being Elokim does not depend on, or being Elokim does not cannot depend on Torah. This is a good point. Maybe we have some concept in the Yerb Yosef to a certain extent. Okay, it's Torah. It was even though Torah was given, but it was like the others fulfill the entire Torah was given. How can the Amalek be required to have Yira? And yet that's why they're punished, because they didn't have proper Yira. Okay, so let's go to paragraph 2 more. Yaakov Shenasa Sheshama Shesabo Olech Varbamos Ishimo Charomo. Very upset. Zepashu Shbachtoshi Yaakov Mesav Loy Commotion being Pachadam Melchalosh Mate Yalam. I don't understand a weak person being afraid of a strong person. But I should be Yirakazu Ena Kosamadaber. That wasn't what Yirak would be afraid of. Yirakazu Loni Stop Clovos Hakadosh. Such a year would not be praiseworthy by the others. Maybe he was ruined or sullied by sin. This is also from you. In fact, he was afraid of Asa and the 400 men with him. Yira Tivis, which is a natural Yira, and we base I'm glad it's called Fachemi Gazlon or Chaya Ra. So it's true the Yira of Yaakov was Shema Yigrom Achet. But because of Shema Yigrom Achet, there was a natural fear there. In other words, there's an esoteric reason, but the fear is natural. So it's no different than any other fear, although the reason was had to be something more loftier. So I said, it's an image she also year, so Yaakov Mesav, she betevak, which any person would experience. I say it's a Yaakov Yerucham. Yaakov was Yerucham because it was linked to the esoteric cheshbon. The same he says Shasoga Yira. So comes to this that the perception of Yira, why they teva atzmo gambali ha'ora toris comes by nature itself. Now we know nature is even greater. Until now we valued nature. It's a high level as well. Obligation fulfilled is also the command of Hashem. I was so but we just drew some sort of lines of parallel between it and the Torah. Without giving to nature all those various different levels and nuances which Torah itself has. No, from here though, from this mimer, we see that the great madrigos, which are in Torah, are also in Teva. Achka madrigos here, Shemayim was Charva Onish, Shem Ra madrigos. So I said, you see, Mashem Akel Shemay Moch Kim here was going to ask you only to fear. Gam Adargos Elu Yesh Lamateva, they're also expected to be found in nature. Vodosim is Emotzino, we find greater Shema Gamasho, and Muchazal, that's what Chazal saying, brother, them by love. If Hashishma, so a person sees travails befalling him, he should check out his deeds. But to us, it seems that only Torah allows you to analyze whether your deeds are good or bad. No, even people only had just their intellect, their wits about them, were able to merit this. They found the cup of Yosef in one of their bags, and their souls left them. Their hearts. Torah, again, there were 4 Torahs given. So they knew that they had to check out their deeds if they find that they're suffering, and find what they did wrong to that this befalls them. This is cognition of divine providence. Even the ancient nations do this. See by Nagash is Paro going with Olim. Hashem sent great afflictions to Paro. Mazosa Sisoli and Paro complained. We go, why do you say she's your sister? He didn't have Nevuah. And we told her, okay. He started analyzing and checking out until he came to note it. A rod to the horse, a bit for the donkey, the shaven lagok silim, and a rod, like a rod for punishment, to the back of the fools. So evidently, nature. It's interesting idea. Paro knew that if this is happening even naturally, there must be there's some reason for it and something which went wrong. So he knew that he has to look at what possibly went wrong, and that led him to Avraham Avinu and to Sarah, etc. Okay, I think it's about halfway through, so we can stop here for today.
Okay.
And let's take
very good
next time. Okay, have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Next week I'm going to be out of town. I'll let you know if you
Okay.
can. Okay.
Okay, very good. Just
Okay.
text me.
I
Sure.
didn't understand that.
Never mind.
Take
Okay,
care.
have a good night. Okay, bye.
You too. Bye-bye.